Sorry. Where?
Okay, we'll get started in 1 minute. Okay.
Yes, but I can't press the. Okay.
Is it working?
The message popping up from Zoom, and I can't put it out.
Okay, I can
somehow.
help you control the slides. I will send you a request to remotely control your content.
Okay. And I can't press the agree button from the Zoom. I can't touch the Zoom messaging.
Okay, now
okay.
is it working now?
Yeah, no. Okay, stop. No.
What is not working?
I can't control the Zoom button, so the message from the host or message from the Zoom keep standing here in the middle of my screen. I can't.
Okay, you can close it. Close the message.
Okay, so when I sharing the when I start the presentation, I can't touch the message. Okay, I learned. Okay, now I'm sharing the screen and I'll start the presentation. Oh my gosh. Yes,
are you able to share the presentation?
Yes. Huh?
Can you move it?
Yes.
Yes. Can you try now?
Yes. Okay. Can we start now?
Can you try to move the slides, Mary?
Yes. I'm moving.
Because I can't see the slides moving.
Wow.
That's why I asked you.
Okay.
Okay, let's start again.
Now.
Okay, share again.
Okay. Here and then share presentation. Share.
Yes.
Yes, and then start make it big.
Good. Okay,
Move.
now can you move? Yes, it's working. Good.
Okay, good.
Can you move all the slides? All the slides. Can you move quickly through all the slides? Just yeah. Okay.
I think it's perfect.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. So leave it that way. Don't touch anything else. Okay, let's get started.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, can I start now?
I will tell you. I'm preparing the live.
Okay. Now, so when I'm sharing this, starting the presentation, then I can't close the message from Zoom. So I have to stop the presentation.
Can you move the slides? Huh?
No, I don't think I can.
Really?
What's happening? It's not moving, right?
Yes, you can just introduce yourself and talk about the presentation later. No problem.
Yes. Okay. So now I'm sharing the presentation. Yes. This one.
Yes, it's working.
Yes. Okay. So I'm talking about this technology using Google Forms and Kahoot to help students learn grammar and vocabulary. And this technology use is intended to promote mastery and easy knowledge retrieval through self-grading quizzes and joyful competition. Yes. Can you see the next slide?
Yes.
Yes,
Good.
perfect. Okay. Oh my gosh. And before moving on to the main topic, let me talk a bit about myself. Hi. こんにちは. Hello. Merhaban. かな? I'm Japanese. 私は日本人です。This is cherry blossom on our campus. 桜の木です。はい。Nice one. とてもいい桜です。And I'm a linguist. 言語学者です。And I love languages a lot. 言語が大好きです。And this is part of my list of languages I've been learning. And then now I'm learning Arabic. アラビア語をやっています。on Duolingo で。そして、I'm not Zaina, but okay, let me try. Ana mean Sendai. Medina in northern part of Japan. that's all I can say now. Okay, and I'm teaching English and intercultural communication. 英語と異文化コミュニケーションを教えています。to college students 大学生に。はい。Yes.
Oh, is this your campus?
No. I traveled a lot with my students before COVID, the pandemic. Yes. I took my students to like Australia. This is from Australia. And upper one is Finland, Helsinki, and Indonesia, Thailand, etc. And we visited a school, I visited class to have some intercultural exchange and experience. They are lucky ones. And then not every student is that lucky. So I've been having online intercultural exchange in various forms as a part of coursework. And this is a scene from the intercultural, the last day of the session of the exchange project. Yes. And I love using technology in class, and I love using physical activities and analog tools like a Post-it. And one of my research interests is to seek for a better blend, a better mix of a better combination of digital, analog, and online or physical activities to make the benefit, maximize the benefit of learning. But now, in the pandemic, now we have fewer choices, fewer options than before. And then in my university, actually, last year, half half of the year, we had to teach online. All of the teachers had to teach online, 100%. And in the latter half of the year, in the fall semester, some of the classes went back to online, face-to-face. And this spring, some more classes were back to face-to-face on campus. And now, some classes online, some classes on campus. And I was able to choose to teach one class online, but for the others, I had no choice to teach those classes on campus. But actually, some of the classes are hybrid. So some students access the class online, and some classes access the class. Come to campus and then had a class in the classroom. So mixed. Well, this photo is from this spring semester, and you see they're on campus, but it's not normal because we had to make a larger space between students to avoid infection, and I myself limited my use of interactive activities. So I use web meeting in the classroom. So, but I've tried a lot of things, lot of new things. Okay, so I've always loved using technology in class and seeking for better blend of digital and analog, but 100% remote teaching last year and having to switch between between different teaching environments was because of this pandemic were totally new to me. And yeah, they have been great opportunities too for trials and errors. And that has given me a new perspective toward technology enhanced learning and teaching. Yes, and today's talk is largely based on my experience. Yes. So this is today's outline. First, I said easier retrieval is important, and why easier and quicker retrieval of knowledge matters in my context. Yes, that's because English and Japanese are really, really different. There's a huge difference in grammatical structures. Let me briefly explain about the difference. Like you see, as you see, of course, in English, the subject and the verb are the two necessary obligatory elements of the sentence. And if the sentence has an object, then those three should come in this order, like subject, verb, object. In contrast, in Japanese, the verb or predicate is only the obligatory element of the sentence. And the other stuff can come in either position before the verb. So the word order of a Japanese sentence is usually completely different from its English equivalent. So if you want to say, 私は, sorry, sorry. If you want to say, I study English in the library, in Japanese, there are several ways of arranging the elements, phrases. So the top one, 私は I, top, 英語を English, object, 図書館で library, the location, 勉強します study, the verb should come at the end. So I, English, in the library, study. That's a really normal sentence. And the second one is okay too. I, in the library, English, study. It's okay. And then topic is not a necessary element. If it's too obvious to listeners, then we don't say that. So we don't say that. And then any phrase can be a topic. So English can be a topic. So 英語は sorry. Okay. 英語は図書館で勉強します。English in the library study. That's totally okay too, depending on the context. So the word order of Japanese is completely different from the word order of English. So what is likely to happen if the students' knowledge retrievals of knowledge of grammar and vocabulary is not successful and is not quick enough when they are reading or when they are trying to read? What's likely to happen? Yes. So for example, when they are asked to interpret relatively complicated sentence like the weather was too bad to leave at the scheduled time. If they are weak at English, then first they check the meaning of the phrases like the weather or tenki was too bad. Number 2 element was warusugita. Okay. Number 3, to leave, deru. Okay, deru. And number 4, at the scheduled time, 予定にの時間に. Okay. Then, but this string doesn't make any sense, of course, in Japanese. So they might have to rearrange the elements to fit the Japanese word order. Like number 1, the weather. Number 4, at the scheduled time. Number 3, to leave. And at the end, number 2, was too bad. Okay. So if a student is doing that way, then it's not reading. It's more like a solving puzzle, see? And then if it takes too long, obviously, to interpret a sentence this way, to retain and process what is said in the whole text, it's not possible. And then, needless to say, if students are processing the input that way, they can't listen to spoken English and understand. It takes too long. And the next one, what is likely to happen if knowledge retrieval is not successful, not fast enough when they are trying to speak? This is an actual example in my class. And then I gave them simple conversation like this, episode 9, to slurp up or not to slurp, to slurp or not to slurp. And then the conversation consisted of really simple phrases. And then when they read the conversation, they felt it was too easy, very easy for them to read and understand. And maybe they felt too easy to study. But I gave them another version of the work of the conversation in a worksheet, and I deleted some portion of a text, like three word phrase, and replaced the phrase into Japanese. And I asked them to put the Japanese, like 3-word or 4-word phrases into English like this. So the above one, sorry, I should have waited. I converted into this way. Sorry, I in Japanese, 待ってるべきだった. And the second one, I'll try to remember next time. I'll try to remember next time, 3 words. And I put that into Japanese. I'll 思い出すようにするよ next time. And I asked them to say, change the Japanese part into English and to continue conversation. And they had real difficulty. When they read it, it was too easy. When they tried to speak, English just didn't come out of their mouth. So, okay, yes. Understanding and mastery of grammar rules and vocabulary is really important for sure, but being able to easily retrieve knowledge is also very important, and it's really important for, in my context, it's really important for my students, Japanese students. And knowledge retrieval should be much easier for them, for many of them, and faster to read and speak and listen to English. Yes. And self-grading quizzes and fun competition with classmates can help those students a lot. Yes. So this is this. Can I ask you a question now?
Yes,
the
sure.
similar thing is the case with you in Arabic-speaking country? No.
What's the case?
That like word order is really different from your language and English, and the students well, English doesn't come out of the students' mouths.
Yes, the structure is different. As you said, you know, the structure or the order, the word order of the words in Arabic is different from
yeah, right. And then in Japan and in many Japanese students, lack necessary training of producing output, and then so that's another problem. But anyway, so here I use Google Forms and Kahoot to help those students in my class and during the COVID. Okay. So I wanted to cover these points. Like I use VOA English lessons in my Google Forms quizzes, and I embed explanations within the quiz. And this quiz is self-grading, of course. And then I add reflection section at the bottom of the quiz. And then if you are interested, here is the list of Google Forms VOA quizzes. But all the introductions are in Japanese. But you can see how it looks like. So I use VOA video lessons so that students can learn how structures and phrases are used meaningfully in context. And VOA video lessons are really, really good. And it's also easy to insert a video like this in a Google Form quiz. And as I said, I embedded explanation like this chart within a quiz to highlight important and or sometimes difficult aspects of the target language just before checking understanding. So before the question, I put important explanation chart in chat. Before yes, I put explanation and ask a question. Okay. And then using a chat is really good, I think, compared to giving like a paragraph of explanation. And again, it is really easy to insert an image in a Google Forms quiz. Yes. And a Google Forms quiz is self-grading. And that's why many teachers use Google Forms in their classroom. And so it's self-grading, so students can get the results immediately. Where they made a mistake or where they got correct, they can get the results immediately. And this is not a test in my class. I'm not using Google Form quizzes for testing. I'm using Google Forms for them to practice target languages or understanding. So my students are encouraged to make another attempt or multiple attempts if they didn't do very well on their first try or previous tries. And along with the answer keys, I set automatic feedback. So getting automatic feedback this way, along with the answer key, allows students to identify gaps and assess their understanding. And I think the automatic feedback is an essential part of self-grading quiz if the quiz is not intended to be a test. If it's practice, automatic feedback is its essential component. Yes. And then as I said, I add reflection section at the bottom of the quiz. And yes, and at the end of each quiz, my students are always asked to comment on the quiz. What was good, what was bad, difficult, what was understood, or what they are sure about, or what they are going to do in response to the results or whatever. And I always go through the students' reflection and to prepare for the collective feedback to give in the next class. And as you see, Google Forms displays the list of reflective comments in a neat way. And I'm not going to cover this, but I'm using Google spreadsheets to put all the data together. Okay. So should I stop? Should I pause a bit here? Or can I go on?
Would you like to stop?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you have any question or you want to know more about the Google Form?
Yes, we can ask questions maybe at the end.
At the end, okay. Yes. Okay, then let's move on to Kahoot. And Kahoot is really popular and famous. And you all know it gives the students joyful competition. But yes, it's also good training for speed, and teacher can give effective explanation, and it now self-access mode is available. Okay. Yes, this is very famous, and joyful competition leads to greater attention and greater engagement, which is very important for any learning anything. And for during the past 2 years, almost 2 years, I'm using Kahoot online in a web conferencing. And it works well. It works well in an online class as well. And let me mention Quizlet Live here. Quizlet Live is maybe a team competition mode of Quizlet, and then it worked fine. Worked very well in the physical classroom, but as you see in the photo, to do this team mode as intended by Quizlet, students have to share each other's screen. So I almost gave up using this in an online environment, but I just had to create many one-person team to do this quiz live online, and actually students love it. And many of my students prefer Quizlet Live to Kahoot for some reason, I'm not sure. But so I'm more often using Quizlet Live. Okay, get back to Kahoot. I love Kahoot. And Kahoot Kahoot quiz is a good training for speed because they compete for time too, as well as compete for correctness. And I expect this help them to improve their fluency, speed in processing input, and also at the same time retrieving their knowledge. Yes. And as many of you know, teachers can pause after each question. So if you see kind of this results, so two people are correct and 3 people are incorrect, and that's when you have to give comments or explanation. So when using Kahoot in class, the teacher can pause after each question to make whatever you think is needed. So you can give, as a teacher, give explanation as needed. So I love this aspect. And also you can do that in online and in on campus as well. And as I said, my students love Quizlet Live, but no similar options are available when using Quizlet Live. You can't stop in the middle. Okay. So Quizlet Live is fun, but when they are working all together in a classroom. But self-access mode is useful too. It's called challenge, and if you have an account of Kahoot, just go to Kahoot page and create a Kahoot game, and then choose assign button. Then you see a settings page for challenge, self-access mode of Kahoot. So when you assign a challenge, students work on the quiz individually, but still can compete with each other outside the classroom. So if they get high score with a good speed and accuracy, then they rank in the top 3 or whatever. Yes. But it's individual mode. Feedback from the teacher is not available, of course, but they get the result in the form of scoreboard, usually immediately. Okay, so yes, as I said in the beginning, we had to switch from one teaching environment to another teaching environment when the school changes the policy. Yes. I started full online and go back to face-to-face with some restriction of interactive activities. And I had I was now able to teach one class online, and the others I had to teach on campus this way. Yes. But in the beginning of the fall semester, somehow all the teachers again had go back online. And after 3 weeks, I keep teaching online, the one class, but other teachers had to change the teaching environment. So, sorry, no. So when teachers are in the position like having to change teaching environment constantly, using technology enhanced teaching helps teachers a lot to keep teaching, continue teaching in a steady way, in a stable way. And this is from Digital Classroom Glossary. According to the glossary, if you incorporate electronic devices and software into the learning environment, then it can be called digital classroom. And it also says, as you see, in a digital classroom, a physical classroom extends into a digital space at home. And the space of a digital classroom must hold potential for collaboration or continuing work outside the classroom. So as I read this, I thought, oh, then I'm giving my students a digital classroom. Okay, like many of you. And I'd like to discuss how my version of digital classroom is working now during the COVID, during the pandemic, and it can work, I think, after the pandemic. Okay. My teaching can work equally fine on campus and online. And then in-class learning activities are directly connected through feedback loops to learning at home. Let's take a closer look. Okay. Activities in blue boxes are done at home, done outside the classroom. And activities in green boxes are done in the classroom, within the class time. Okay, so before the class, students do the Google Forms quizzes based on the VOA and study vocabulary and grammar. And they get auto feedback. And hopefully they reflect on their learning and the performance. And maybe they make another try, maybe, or third try, maybe, until they are happy. And they have to move on to Kahoot challenge, self-access mode of Kahoot or Quizlet study. And then when it's Kahoot, they get auto feedback and reflect on their performance. Yeah, some students are always try Kahoot self-access mode, Kahoot challenge 3 times. There's some students stops at the first try. Okay, and in the class, okay, before the class, yes, this one, I, as a teacher, have to prepare collective feedback to give in class. And to do that, I study the Google quiz, the results of Google Forms quiz, and study the list of reflections of the students. Based on this data, I prepared collective feedback to show in the classroom. And the students listen to my explanation, and they may take additional notes or whatever, and go on to Kahoot session or Quizlet-like session to put more focus on the target language and train for speed and accuracy. And in the case of Kahoot, I can give feedback if needed, and students hopefully reflect on their performance. And at the last part of the class activity, I assign them a pair work practice, speech practice, to practice the target language they learn in this lesson. And then now the pair work practice is done in a small small group meeting, and they record their performance, and I check it later. So teacher feedback here comes later. Okay, and there's another option, the blue one, because not everyone has good access to online meeting. And when Wi-Fi is weak or connection is not really good, the conversation in a meeting doesn't go well. So students can choose a Flipgrid, choose to practice individually and submit their performance onto Flipgrid. And again, I have to check, not automatically, I have to check later their performance. And so teacher feedback here comes later too. So there are many chances of self-reflection in red. Okay. Students have to submit overall reflection about the lesson by the end of the day of the class. And we call it reaction paper. So I check reaction paper after every class at night. So as you see, in-class activities are directly linked to learning outside in digital space through the feedback loops. And This can work equally fine when we meet in the physical classroom on campus, or we meet fully online in a virtual classroom. I can do mostly the same way. Okay. And another thing I want to point out about my version of digital classroom is this one. Digital learning materials like Google quizzes or Kahoot quizzes can be easily shared or collaboratively developed among instructors. So this is a screenshot of my post to a community of language teachers working at my university, language teachers. So I share this post to give them the link to create a copy of each Google quiz. Yes, the links here are not to jump directly to my original quiz, but to create a copy of a quiz. So once they created a copy, then it's their quiz. So they can freely change or add or delete whatever they like. They can do anything with it. So digital materials and digital learning materials and activities can be shared easily and collaboratively developed and easily modified or improved later on. I love this aspect too. Okay, that's almost all for today. And then just give a try to Google Form quizzes and Kahoot quizzes if you haven't yet. And I have here one demo quiz, and please access the tutorial, access the demo quiz. It contains a tutorial video created by somebody, and then question and comment section from you. And I add a link to make a copy. Okay. And for Kahoot, if you have an account in Kahoot site, just discover good public Kahoot. There are tons of good Kahoot, and duplicate the Kahoot and modify it to fit your context. Yes, that's all for my talk. And if
Great.
Thank you, shukran. So how do we do? Can I move on to the demo quiz, or can we go on to a question and answer session?
Yes, we can ask some questions about Google Forms and Kahoot. So you have chosen those two tools just to teach grammar. Why not teaching writing and other skills? Why grammar? Is it because students find grammar difficult?
Yes, find grammar difficult, or most of the students at my uni have they think they are not good at English at all overall. Not only grammar or vocabulary. They have no confidence in grammar in English. And I'm not giving a grammar learning session. Actually, yeah, I give them a collective feedback. And so, yeah, I should have said that before. I'm not only teaching grammar or vocabulary. This is the cycle. Cycle is a part of my lesson. The other half is for training for spoken English. They are really weak at spoken English. So that's another reason to why I use VOA video. So I put focus on processing and producing spoken English. And in the context, I use Google Forms to help them learn at their speed, at their pace, the grammar and vocabulary that they need to learn. That's why I use Google Forms to teach or help them learn grammar and vocabulary. Does that make sense?
Yes. That's good. And also, you mentioned assessment.
Yes.
So you start with the Google form in the classroom, and then based on the results, you see what are you going to do, what kind of work you are going to focus on, what areas you will focus on based on the assessment in the classroom.
Assessment in the classroom?
Yes.
The speaking practice, and then Kahoot quiz. Kahoot quiz done in Kahoot or quiz in general. Okay. So my assessment of the coursework is based on their self-paced study, because they submit Google Form quizzes, and then Kahoot challenge quizzes, and they submit record of speaking practice on Flipgrid and whatever. So I give them self-paced work to submit online. So I assess the student or grade students' performance from those data. Does it make sense?
Yes. That's great. So are you going to move to the demo? You said you will show some demo.
Okay. So to do that, I need to pause to
stop sharing.
Yeah, stop sharing and then stop the presentation. How do I do that?
That's it.
Okay, thank you for listening. Okay, no. Okay. So now, okay. Wait. Sorry. I'll prepare for the quiz, demo quiz.
You can't find it, it's okay, we can
oh well, I need to look at this. No, I can't find it.
It's okay.
I just created the
So let's talk a little bit about the for people who would like to learn Japanese. What's your advice for them?
Japanese.
Yes.
Japanese
Yes.
from the beginning. I mean, as
No,
a
just
total beginner.
for communication. For example, hi, how are you? My name.
Okay. Japanese.
How do you say my name is, for example?
As you said, you don't need to have okay to have a topic of the sentence, but konnichiwa, hello, konnichiwa, hello, okay, konnichiwa, watashi wa Mari desu. Okay, konnichiwa, hello. Watashi wa I'm Mari desu. So watashi wa desu. Your name should be in the middle. Watashi wa desu. Something, your name in the middle. Can you do that? Watashi wa?
Watashi wa?
Watashi wa? Yes.
Watashi wa?
Your name, please.
Watashi wa Aziz?
Desu.
Yes.
Yes. And you don't have to use watashi wa because it can be omitted. So konnichiwa, Mari desu is okay. Which is konnichiwa, hello. Hello can be used in Japanese too, but konnichiwa, Mari desu.
You say konnichiwa or watashi wa, the same?
No. Konnichiwa is hello, and watashi wa is I'm, and you can omit I'm.
So you start with the verb first, and then the noun.
No. Mari is name, and this is like is. So okay, but if you without greeting, Mari desu, it doesn't work. It wouldn't work. But you need to start saying something like greeting, like hi or hello. You say that first, right? So konnichiwa, Mari desu. Konnichiwa, Yamauchi desu. This is B, and it should come at the end of the sentence.
Oh yes, and the alphabets or the letters.
Letters are difficult, I think. Difficult.
Yes, it's difficult in writing. No.
Yes, difficult in writing. And my recommendation is, please first get used to spoken Japanese. It's not that difficult, I think, compared to writing, to master writing system, because we have three kinds of letters, and then one is Chinese characters. There's tons of Chinese character we use, and there's a phonetic symbol we use. There are 50 something, and there are another phonetic symbol for foreign language or borrowed word. So it's too complicated and too demotivating for beginner, I think. So first, get used to spoken language.
Yes, how do you learn to write, like, for example, letters? Because I found letters sometimes very difficult. Like there is something here, and you do this and this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. As an elementary school.
Do you have to be a good in drawing and painting?
Well, so Japanese spend a lot of time practicing writing in when we are young, because we have to write many times. Yeah, when we were a child.
That's great.
Yeah, I suspect that's why students tend to learn English writing
Yes.
by writing, not speaking, writing. That was kind of surprising to know for me.
So
They did.
it's very hard for them to move from the writing Japanese system to the English writing system.
Not really, not really, because English for English, there's only 26 letters, and that way, in a sense, it's not difficult, but English is not phonetic language. So same letters, same alphabet can be pronounced differently, right?
Yes.
That's difficult for Japanese to understand.
So Mary, maybe my question is, how can I write my name in Japanese?
Okay. As this, okay, I'll try to show. I can use whiteboard here.
Yes.
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 So your name is Aziz.
Yeah.
Is it close?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm using phonetic alphabet. Phonetic letter. This is G, but I think it's the closest. It sounds closest. Aziz. Is it okay?
That's great. So I will keep practicing.
Oh yeah, right. right. And then yeah, I think it sounds close enough. Closest in Japanese.
Great.
Okay, I stop.
Yes. So the letters are very challenging.
Mm.
So we will have another session with Mary, but this time we will have it on like teaching Japanese and Arabic.
Yes, please. Let's do that in the next session.
Yes.
Yes.
I am a quick learner if I if I find a good teacher.
Yeah.
Yes. So Mary, do you have any like final tips or comments before we close the session?
Yes. You recorded today. You have recorded today's session, but I prepared for prepared a recording of my session, of my presentation, and it's neat because I took and retook and retook. So you can access my video. I divided into 4 parts,
Yes.
and then you can access the videos on YouTube. You can't search, but I can share the link.
Okay,
Right,
can you send me your channel here and in the chat box, and I will post it on the comments.
Okay. So let me. Yes. Now I'm visiting my library on YouTube. So first one is here. Okay. Okay, chat box. This is the first one. Where is the chat box? Chat box. Okay.
Yes, I
this is
received
the
it. Yes.
first.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
I will. Yes, great.
And this one is the second. Yes, about Google Form. And the third one is about Kahoot.
Great.
Third one is Kahoot.
So I
And the
shared them
fourth
in
one,
the. I shared them in the comment section. I'm sharing them now.
okay. The last one is the digital classroom. Okay.
Great.
Yes.
Mary,
Mm-mm.
what we would like to say to the audience in Everyone Academy? But you in Japanese language.
In Japanese language. Okay. In Japanese language. Okay. 聞いてもらって、聞いていただいてありがとうございます。Thank you for listening. And then, トラブルがあって申し訳ありませんでした。I'm sorry, I had trouble in the beginning. And then, please try to, sorry. デモクイズに、トライしていただいて、please try to please try the demo quiz. And そして、質問、コメントをお寄せください。お待ちしています。To write in some comments in the comment section, and or if you have a question, please write in your comment. そしたら私が個々に、お返事できます。I'll send you my individual response feedback. はい、以上です。ありがとうございます。Thank you, Shukran.
Shukran. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will program another session with you in the future.
Yes.
So thank you, Mary. This is your greeting, right?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Right.
and talk to you later.
Yes. Talk to you later too.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Yes, thank you.
Bye bye, Shukran.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.